this thing's fucking heavy. Here it is. My tote of treasures, which has been hiding in my bedroom closet for the past year because in 2017, Hurricane Irma was apparently going to come and destroy all of Florida. And in a moment of preparation, over preparation, I thought, you know what, let me take some of the more expensive games off my shelf and put them in something waterproof. So if, I don't know, a series of tornadoes came by and tore my roof off, I wouldn't lose absolutely everything. I mean, only all my worldly possessions, but you know what, the games, those are what's important. So, this is my cat Hannibal. Go. No, fatty. Okay. So let's unbox. It's a little dirty. So at the top, we have games that probably aren't worth a whole lot, but when you're filling up a tote, you cram in as much as possible. Yeah, look at this. Bat and Kados, 1 and 2. Factory sealed. Toys R Us soundtrack. I've played these. I had open copies. These I got for a steal, and I ended up trading off the opened ones because why not? And I'll probably open those again, but not anytime soon. Wind Waker, my favoriteest GameCube game. And we got... I've never played this. I hear it's wonderful. Someday. Apparently I paid $45 for it too. Oh. And for extra protection, I was Ziploc bagging these in case of flooding. So this you can see is some jewel case games. We've got Ease, books 1 and 2. I don't have TurboGrafx, so I can't play this, but I really want to. Alundra, one of the best games on PlayStation 1. Whoops, upside down. Dragon Warrior 7. There's a cool video on this if you haven't seen it that's comparing the PlayStation version to the 3DS version. I also have a video on Rhapsody, which, oh, look, if it's all cracked. I got this cracked. Like, I don't know how well you can see these, but when I bought Rhapsody, it was still really rare. However, Atlas had a mail order website. Like, it wasn't even, there was no PayPal. You couldn't just send them some money and they would send you the games. You had to write them a check and mail away for the games. And Rhapsody was like $20. I was like, yes! And I got it, and it ended up being the last freaking copy. Like, as soon as I put in my order, that shit went out of stock. And then Good Old Games went and did a re-release, and the price plummeted. So, it's not really worth that much anymore. But it was still a cool story. I got some of my Super Nintendo cartridges, which probably would have survived a flood just fine, but better safe than sorry. Fire Striker, I have another video on that. That's really cool. Breath of Fire 2. Not the best Breath of Fire. 3 and 4 are much better, but you know what? It's still a really good game. Hey, Lufia Rises Sinistrals. That was the video I just put out. Ooh, have an ugly backing there, but the front's pretty good. It's pretty clean. Secret of Mana. I really want to get the remake of this. I know a lot of people have been trashing it. It looks cool to me. Like, I like the idea of a cute 3D remake. Chrono Trigger, best game on the SNES. I don't actually say SNES, I say that ironically. It is SNES or Super Nintendo. Dragon View, another really, really awesome game. If you haven't checked this out, look up my video on it and see why it is one of the best RPGs on the Super Nintendo. Speaking of best RPGs on the Super Nintendo, here's the most expensive RPG on the Super Nintendo. You can see why these made the baggie of preservation. Let's get some more. More Super Nintendo cartridges, which for some stupid reason I put at the top of the tote instead of probably at the bottom of the tote, where they would have been support for all the boxed NES games that are currently sitting at the bottom for a year getting squished. So that's going to be fun. Spike McFang, also have a video on this one. Kind of a cool Secret of Mana light game. Ogre Battle. And, oh, Final Fantasy 2. Can't have an RPG collection without Final Fantasy 2 or Final Fantasy 3. Super Mario RPG. I really, really love this one. Oh! Super Ninja Boy. That's a quirky 2-player RPG beat 'em up. Like, it's good if you have a friend. I don't know how it is like single player, but a lot of fun 2-player. Oh, and here's like my only CIB Super Nintendo game. I used to have more, but I sold off all boxes and manuals to pay for games. But they weren't like in really good shape. A lot of my boxes were really rough, like my Chrono Trigger and my Final Fantasy 3. My Illusion Guy was really ugly. So I didn't feel too bad getting rid of them. This one was really like kind of minty. It's the little bit of damage it has been from me over the years, from sticking in things like a tote. This is a really nice copy, so I couldn't, in all good faith, get rid of the packaging for that. Oh, more Super Nintendo. Okay, I see why they call this the RPG system, because there's definitely a lot of them. Secret of Evermore. Not an RPG, but, you know, it's worth a little bit of money, so saved it. Turtles in Time. Really good beat 'em up. Oh, Breath of Fire 1. I really hate this game. It is so pretty. So pretty. Ys 3. So that's another one of my Ys collection. I've got quite a few of those actually. And again, sadly haven't really played any of them. Super Metroid. Because you can't have a well-rounded Nintendo collection without some Metroid. Or Yoshi's Island. With a weird, like, damage on it. I've never really been able to find a copy that wasn't damaged somehow. I had, like, 3 of these over the years that I've traded off. But this one doesn't bother me so much because, honestly, I barely even noticed that. Like, it's in such a place that it kind of looks like it's part of the art until you look real close. Soul Blazer. Gotta love your Quintet trilogy. And Link to the Past. It's a pretty copy. Let's see, what else we have? That looks like it on Super Nintendo, so let's move on to PlayStation again. We kind of started the PlayStation pile. Grandia. Oh god, EB stickers. Those are hideous. And really stubborn. Like, you can see where I tried to wipe it off of this one and all it did was like smear sticker smooge everywhere all over the jewel case. Someday I'll sit down and really clean those up, but the insides are all good. Thousand Arms. This is a really, really weird dating sim game. RPG with a lot of humor. And if you look, it's like collector CD, trading card, memory card stickers. Well, we have all that. Look at that, freaking memory card stickers. And collector's hologram. Woo! There's a cattail. I do have the multimedia CD, which was a mail-away thing. That's in another case where I kind of keep my promo stuff. Just like demo discs and freebies. Nothing really amazing. Suikoden 2, talking of amazing. God, I love this game. This is one of the few games that I really paid full price for, but it was worth every penny. This is one of the best RPGs in the system. And so is Tales of Destiny 2. This used to be kind of the black sheep of the series until, well, now I guess Graces and Zestria have kind of taken up that mantle of the black sheep. But it used to be people really didn't like Tales of Destiny 2 because they thought it was a disappointment, because it's not really Tales of Destiny 2, it's a completely different game. But I love Eternia more than pretty much anything else in the series. There it is. The most expensive game on PlayStation 1 currently, I believe. Unless it's been dethroned in the last year. I don't know. I don't really keep up with prices. I mean, once I have it, it's like, its value's frozen in time because I don't bother to look it up again unless I get a hold of another copy. Some of my Vita games, I think I just threw them in because I had room in the box. I don't even know why I saved these. Oddworld, I think, is worth something, and I might even trade or sell that. I thought I wanted it, now I'm just kind of not into it. Saturn. Some pretty Saturn goodness going here, because wouldn't it be a shame if there was one less copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga in the world? There we go. Look at that. I don't even know if I can get that. I think I'm holding these up too high. There, how about that? God, how much would it suck if I went through this whole video, watched it back, and I was cutting off all the titles? That's a pretty box. You can see. I don't even know it's pretty. It's a pretty copy. This is another game I actually paid full price for, so don't get too jealous. I didn't get it for a steal or anything. Here we go. And really, there isn't any game on Saturn that's just not astronomically expensive. So, which is just, I mean, it's a shame. I understand why the system definitely didn't do as well as it should have, and the games are scarce, and collectors are not giving them up, so I know why the prices are just going up and up and up. But on the other hand, everyone should experience Saturn games because they are that good. Same for Sega CD. Popful mail. Look how I love the shiny foil on the old working design stuff. Like, that is classy. Shining Force CD, which I don't have a video on, but I do have a video on Shining Force Gaiden 1, which is one of the games included in this remake. So if you're not very familiar with the Shining series, that is a good video to check out, and it kind of gives you an idea of what games are all about. And if you are familiar with the Shining series, it's still fun. Another, look at that, more shiny goodness. Haven't played much Vey. The one time I tried to play through it, I was like dying with a fever, and I think I hallucinated like half the game, so I couldn't even tell you what it's about anymore. I remember there was a wedding that got like trashed. It starts with a trashed wedding. Dragon Force. Not just a metal band, also a strategy RPG. I don't know much about Dragon Force. What else we got? We have not even hit the halfway point on this box. This is a very expensive tote. So for the past year, if anyone had tried to rob my game collection, they wouldn't have even gotten away with any of the good stuff. Unless they knew where to search. Which half the time I forgot where these games were, so good luck with that. Albert Odyssey. This is actually my second copy of Albert Odyssey. I have another that's just the disc, but it's bit rot. Like, the game is destroyed, completely unplayable. Which is a real shame, because this is an amazing game. Which, speaking of, now we're gonna check this out. Oh. There is a crack, but it's not in the data of the game. It's just there in the... That's fucking scary as shit. I had these games on top, so it shouldn't have been something that happened in the tote. I'm gonna have to be really, really careful with that. That's not good. Rare's fine. Yeah, this stuff is so fragile. Okay, well that kind of put a damper on my mood. I didn't like seeing a crack in one of my really good games. Okay, moving on. Genesis. I don't know how interesting this video is. It really is just me showing off a bunch of stuff that I've had in a box for years. Not everything in here is super expensive, although I don't know how much Sorcerer's Kingdom is. Good game, by the way. Oh, here we go. Shining in the Darkness. That's not worth shit. But I've included like games that I'm just personally attached to. Like if something happened to Shining in the Darkness, yes, I could replace it, but I love it so much, I really don't want to replace my copy. I'm anxious to see how those NES games are faring on the bottom, but we got a ways to go before we hit those. War Song. I love the box art on this. Like, actually this one doesn't really wrap around, but I love how it's like the illustrated, illuminated manuscript kind of style on the back. And then the screenshots, I don't know how well you can see any of this, are so guerrilla. Like, back in the day, they just took a photograph of a TV running the game. Like, that's not even screenshots off a computer program. That's hilarious to me. Now, I mean, I don't even know what happened to Traco. Like, as far as I know, it's like one of their only releases. Actually, they also did, I'm sorry, Traco also did Sorcerer's Kingdom. So there you go. They released 2 games that, as far as I know, bombed. But are still really good RPGs. Like, they knew what they were doing, just nobody bought them. Mutant League Hockey. Because, you know, everybody needs Mutant League. And, sorry, the other... I like horror games, you can tell. Like, these are not... Probably not something you would expect me to be into, but I really love the aesthetic of just slasher, horror, monster stuff. So, Splatterhouse and Mutant League Hockey, both really just unique Genesis games. Oh, actually that's not Genesis, let's... Here. Here it is, the best game ever! And not a very pretty copy. If you look, the spine is damaged. I would really like to get a pristine copy of Shining Force to replace this with. The cartridge is good. Like, it's got a really, really nice cartridge, but the manual is a little screwed up. And actually, I've got another treasure in here. This manual is okay. This piece of crap with the coffee stains on it is my original manual. This was the one I had as a child, and you can see I the 4th grade, I was practicing my cursive on it. So this thing's taken a beating, but that gets saved for sentimental reasons. Make room in there. Oh, here's something to make you all weep. Here's my Crusader of Senti. This would be like a $500 game, and oh look, it's in a clamshell. That's not right. Clearly that's a custom case. Well, no, because I'm a frickin' retard. And this is cardboard. This is the game's original box that I was like, I hate cardboard. I would much rather have it in a pretty clamshell. So, yep, I did this. It's a couple $100 off the price tag because of that. But you know what? It's my copy and it's not going anywhere. So it's hard to be too upset. I know some of you are cringing. I mean, look, that manual. You could tell, like, this was a pristine copy before I got my hands on it because that manual is crisp. The cartridge looks good. Like, I butchered this thing. But like I said, I'm not selling it. It's not going anywhere. Whether it's like Schrodinger's game, whether it's pristine in my possession or ruined in my possession, it's all the same. Difference to everybody else. Shadowrun. Love Shadowrun. Okay. And oops. Now we get to the boxed NES games. So I've got Shining Force 2. I got these obviously later than Crusader of Senti because they still have their boxes. My original, well, not my original, my replacement copy of Shining Force 2, actually it might have been my original, come to think about it. I don't fucking know. I did the same thing. I cut up the box and stuck it in a clamshell and then realized my mistake a few years later and replaced it with this copy. But of course, Crusader of Senti is like $500, so there is no replacing it. It's just is what it is. Beyond Oasis. Really, really good game. And this one's in one of those protective things because, I don't know, I got a protective thing for it. Somebody sent me a game inside this oversized box protector. It had an NES game in it, and I was like, hey, that fits Genesis stuff. Okay. Now that's... Oh, no. We have this. Okay. Now for the unlicensed, but not bootleg. These are unlicensed games. And we have from Super Fighter Team, we have Star Odyssey, which was a game that was supposed to come out in the US under the title Blue Almanac, but was canceled. And then sometime in the mid, I don't know, 2010s, Super Fighter Team got a hold of it and it was like, you know what, we're gonna come out with that. And here's the first edition of Beggar Prince, or first release, I don't know, with the really, really awful art. Like, their quality got a lot better after this one. I kind of wish I had gotten the second release because the artwork on it was much, much, much better. But still, it's pretty cool to have that. And Legend of Wukong, which I don't think is as good as a game, but it's the second game that they came out. It was Beggar Prince, Legend of Wukong, and then Star Odyssey. Or they're RPG releases anyway. They've also come out with Nightmare Busters, which was a fighting game. Oh, okay. And then I've got a couple of Sega Master System games. We got Phantasy Star 1. We have a hell of a time putting these things back on the shelf. I have completely eaten up all the space that these games had been taking up in the past year. So that'll be fun. Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Trap. And Golden Axe Warrior, which is an amazing clone of the original Zelda. Like, it is a blatant clone. Really good, though. My foot's falling asleep. Oh, we've hit the NES games. So, they look, actually, they look fine. I think my fears were unwarranted. And they're all in these case protectors, so they're fine. Zoda's Revenge, a really, really, really nice copy that John Riggs sent me. We had done a game exchange, and he was, I guess, so impressed with the game that I sent him that he wanted to send me something nice, especially. So he picked up a pristine copy of Zoda's Revenge, which was amazing. Star Tropics, which is not sealed. There's still cellophane on like half the box, but I've definitely opened this and played it. It does include the letter though. Like, it's in there. So, Might and Magic, Secret of the Inner Sanctum. I had a guy, Nintendo Power, was really, really, really nice. I'm sorry at the moment, I can't remember his name. Sent me the box for this because originally I just kind of had a carton. I think the manual, it might not have a manual, but he sent me the box. So that was one of my major goals in my collection is to put all of my NES games in boxes. All my NES RPGs. Sorry, I don't particularly care if Mario Brothers is in a box. But I want to have all my RPGs boxed. And I'm pretty close to that goal. I'm trying to think of what I'm missing. Crystallis. Which I'm... You know what? Keep an eye out on my channel because I am playing Crystallis right now and I'm going to do a video on this very soon. Destiny of an Emperor. It's just kind of like a Suikoden for the NES. I think I'm pulling these up too high again. Final Fantasy, which the manual is so big that I've kind of like squeezed it into the back of the case protector. Just to contain it. Alright. Orchestra's Ring. This is a Sammy logo again, who did Might and Magic. But Orchestra's Ring is kind of like an arcadey Zelda type. It's a neat game. It's starting to go up in price. I was lucky to get this before anybody really knew what it was. Bard's Tale. I picked this up at PAX East a couple years ago as a souvenir. Which was a pretty cool find. I'm always, like I said, I'm always into boxed NES games. This was cool. I was watching eBay and there's a guy who put up, he didn't really have much feedback, and he put up a bunch of boxed NES games for bids, and I ended up getting Friday the 13th for $15, which is what the loose cartridge is worth. So it was definitely a nice upgrade for me for very cheap. Let's see. Ultima Quest: The Avatar. I would love to get the Sega Master System version, which is one of the games that my collection is currently missing. And it's actually really different from the NES. Like, I prefer the NES version because it looks like a Final Fantasy or Dragon Warrior, and the Master System version looks more like an Ultima game with that weird tilted perspective. But on the other hand, the Master System version, I guess, is more complicated. Like it's more faithful to the original PC version. It's Willow. That horrible artwork, but this is one of the best games on the NES. And the animation on it is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't checked out Willow, go do so. Ultima Warriors of Destiny, which is, hey, look, it starts to do that weird tilted perspective, which I hate, that Ultima's known for, because I'm a weirdo I'm just a weirdo. I used to love the Ultima series, and now I've kind of fallen out of love with it, but these games are so immersive. There's so much to do, and they give you so much freedom, it's overwhelming. Oh, we've hit the Dragon Warrior collection. I'm sure Dragon Warrior 1's in there, but here we go. We've got Dragon Warrior 2. Haven't played much Dragon Warrior 2. The version I played was on Game Boy Color. Now, here's one of my favorites of the series is 4. With its, you take control of a bunch of different people and you play through their scenarios, and then all of the heroes band together at the end of the game to, fight the big bad evil. So I think that was a really cool storytelling concept. That you've seen in other games since then. But Dragon Warrior 4 was the first that I know of to do it. Dragon Warrior 3. Beautiful copy. Now this whole video is a big humble brag, so sorry. But I don't know, I had all this stuff in the tote. Like I said, it's been in there for a year, and it was really time to get the games out and back on the shelf where they belong. Right in time for another hurricane season, I might add, so this might be like the worst possible timing for me to do this. Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom. Worth quite a bit of money nowadays. I paid $60 for this in like 2002. This is probably my most recent NES addition to the collection. Lone Ranger, which is kind of like a Zelda 2 type RPG with some platforming elements. Well, Zelda 2 had platforming elements, but this has there's a lot more jumping in it. Kind of a really neat game from Konami. Little Ninja Brothers. Got a good deal on this copy. It's not a cheap game. But the box, I don't know if you can see that. The box is warped, and that really brought the price down. But I'm okay with it because I still think it looks gorgeous in the case protector, and I'm just happy to have it complete. I'm not super picky. I like my games to look good, but I can handle a little minor defect. This is the last of the tote. These 3 games, but we got some good ones in here. This is missing the manual, so, but Gargoyle's Quest 2. I don't know if I want to pay $40, $50 just for a manual. I probably won't, so this will stay incomplete for a while. But I love this game. Really cool platforming RPG, which has gotten way more popular in recent years, which is good. Glad to see people are realizing what a good game that is. Ghost Lion. I freaking love Ghost Lion. I really want to do a video on it. It's kind of like this trippy girl's odyssey into her dream world to rescue her parents. And it's got a lot of puzzle elements. It's not while it might look like Dragon Warrior, the gameplay is very unique. And like I said, I would love to do a video on it, but it is a movie license on a Japanese, old 80s Japanese adventure movie, with this little blonde girl that was in like Full House. Not one of the sisters. She was like a friend of DJ's. But the movie is like really rare, and I'm having trouble finding a copy. But once I do, I would love to put a video together that shows off the gameplay next to the film footage, kind of like how I did for Sweet Home. And last game, but not least, definitely is Faria. Or Faria, rhymes with Daria. This is from Game Arts, who you should know from Grandia and Lunar. And this was their first RPG as far as I know. It's got sort of a Star Ocean action RPG going on with the battles, and then the dungeons are insanely difficult mazes. But a really cool game. And another neat thing I have in here, I don't really want to open it up, but I have the map that you could mail away for. That was super rare, because it was so hard that they started offering maps to people who couldn't get through the mazes. So that's everything. The tote is now empty. My next step is to try to find a home for all of this stuff. So I'm going to be doing a lot of reorganization today. But this was just a silly video. I figured if I was going to open this box, I might as well film it. Thank you for stopping in, and stay tuned for my next release. I'm putting out a video. I'm editing a video now on untranslated Sega RPGs on the Mega Drive and Mega CD. So look out for that. And if you haven't watched it yet, go watch my Lufia 2 review. I think you'll enjoy it. I put a lot of work into it, and it was a pretty fun video to make. So anyway, thank you. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.